Christopher Cordova shares, and boy, does he share. Says he's perfectly normal, if not over-endowed in his, presence. Chille DeCastro admits to ordering FAPA not to do the Frauditor Troll show. Ignites debate about keeping your word. Then goes on to piss off Trump fans by eviscerating Trump's inauguration speech. Plus, the markets are savage with Long Island Audit becoming the second auditor in a week to actually lose money. What the what? All this and more on this edition of Auditing Insanity. And we're early today. I'm AI Johnny Jones, and we're actually recording this special combined edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast for Monday, January 20th and Tuesday, January 21st, 2025 in early afternoon. Our human assistant, Jim Finch, apparently got off his rear end to finish the combined paper early today after a planned day off on Monday. It's good to see him get a rest, and maybe, just maybe, the crease in his forehead from his recent concussion will go away. If not, does anyone want an unpaid job of writing the newspaper? What? On that note, we're going to ask you to focus on Long Island Audits loses GoFundMe money. The week started on an unusual note, as our own ongoing expenses campaign got a rare win while Sean Paul, Long Island Audit, Reyes saw one of his many campaigns lose money for the week in an interesting development in an otherwise dead market. First, the victory. Our own campaign took Sunday with a $10 take from a regular contributor. Sunday, however, saw the geese take the day as all of the campaigns that we follow put up goose eggs yet again. We knew that January was more than likely going to be a difficult month with donations for all of the campaigns. The winter weather and new laws in many southern states in regards to interactions with first responders have diminished the money-making prospects of First Amendment auditors. Gone are the days in some states where auditors can simply walk up to police or first responders and proclaim themselves kings and queens of attention. Now, in states like Florida, auditors are subject to a second-degree misdemeanor charge and possible jail time for ignoring verbal commands from first responders to back at least 25 feet away from them. Even in states without so-called halo laws, auditors like the First Amendment Protection Agency, FAPA, fear of the police has altered their approaches to auditing police-involved situations or locations. FAPA has shown that he would rather annoy folks at a private business than anything to do with police in the new year. While this seems to be a continuing trend, it means less excitement and less opportunity for auditors to make money from their various campaigns in the new year. Speaking of making less money, as previously mentioned, Sean Paul, Long Island Audit, Reyes support the fight against tyranny and corruption campaign lost $67 under mysterious circumstances on Monday. The fund was sitting at $52,480 on Sunday, when it plunged to $52,413 on Monday. We've double-checked our calculations against listed donations, and they correspond to the $52,480 figure. As GoFundMe doesn't list refunds, we'll muddle forward with our monitoring of the situation and bring updates if and when we receive them.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
Tiny Frauditor discusses size in lengthy live stream. Christopher Denver Metro audits, Cordova's obsession with sex was again on display late Sunday night into Monday morning as he held a sex-themed live stream on his Christopher Cordova YouTube channel to determine if he was properly endowed for a man his size. Adding to the things we did not need to know about category that has already seen Chille DeCastro reveal that he is both a new girlfriend and erectile dysfunction due to his advanced age, Cordova spoke candidly about his concerns over the size of his male sex organ. Cordova apparently confessed that for years he thought that he was inadequately sized for a man of his height and weight. While he said he hadn't had many complaints from previous lovers, he still had nagging insecurities about his performance. Ultimately, he had a breakthrough and decided that he was perfectly fine for his proportions and came to the conclusion that he was above average at worst. A claim no one seems to want to investigate or follow up on. Cordova's live stream went on to discuss other methods of copulation, including an extended story of a cashier he encountered in an adult novelty shop who told him that anal intercourse was her preferred method of sexual gratification. The YouTuber would soon shift away from his sexual exploits and discussion of his own prowess as a lover. He filled the remaining 3 hours and 29 minutes of the 5-hour live stream with his interpretation of his own and others' previous audits. Cordova's transition from full-time auditor to sex and spirituality specialist over the past 2 years has puzzled some viewers. He has taken great lengths since his breakup with Teresa Sweet Tea Neal to fix his appearance. This has ultimately meant mixing out some of his cardigans for 1980s-era hip-hop outfits, getting braces to straighten his teeth, and embracing a spiritual philosophy on life. While still doing prank call live streams at his advanced age, 40+, Cordova's change of outlook was not hampered by his time in prison last year. Cordova's obsession with sex has also been noted for some time, so his willingness to describe his own feelings of inadequacy may not be a surprise to some. The YouTuber is well known for defending the right to display pornography in public and addresses to the Englewood, Colorado City Council. As expressed in the speeches, Cordova feels that the display of pornography in all of its forms should be protected by the First Amendment. He has implied a threat to take legal action against the Englewood Public Library should it put limits on access to pornography in the computers available to use in the community areas of the library. While Cordova's views on pornography may be out of step with most Americans, those who walked away from his extended Sunday night live stream were left adequately satisfied with an answer to the question of Cordova's endowment of the arts. This is an ending news story.
Delete Laws reacts to Trump, trolls and live stream. The chaotic week for Chille DeCastro continued on Monday as he continued to deal with his rage quitting of a panel show on Brian Here's the Deal Young show over the weekend, followed by the much-anticipated inauguration of President Donald J. Trump. DeCastro live-streamed twice between Sunday and Monday, following his great blow-up on Young's attempt to discuss the auditor known as First Amendment Protection Agency's decision to skip an advertised interview with Frauditor Troll on Friday. The YouTuber appeared on a panel with Young and supporter Brick Jonesy and had just stated that the First Amendment auditing community was in disarray. Within a minute of complaining that the community was to the point where some people refused to appear on panels with others, DeCastro rage quit the live stream when he heard the voice of Joe Cool. DeCastro admitted that he had told Young to break his word and skip the show before hearing Cool's voice. Upon hearing a voice that he did not approve, DeCastro stated that he did not appear on panels and told Young that he would rejoin the broadcast if Young cleared the broadcast of other guests. Without DeCastro, Young's program continued with a lively discussion of honor and if it was honorable to break one's word even if it was given in good faith to one's worst enemy. Both Brick Jonesy, a self-declared man of God, a former Marine who has centered his life around honor and virtue, both claimed it was perfectly okay to break vows if the person was an enemy or if you didn't like the person. The eye-opening discussion brought out more fractures in the community, and possibly in Young and DeCastro's friendship, as Young stood by the principle that your word was your vow and your actions reflected badly on the community if you broke it for any reasons, especially the trivial reasons FAPA had given. DeCastro's Sunday livestream reflected the fact that DeCastro didn't appear ready to talk about what had happened on Young's livestream. It literally consisted of 90 minutes of promotional material for DeCastro's 5A cop cards and a replay of DeCastro's past audits. After an unsuccessful attempt at getting an audience member named Maxim to join him on panel, DeCastro focused on sharing that he believed that friend Craig Hendry may have been transferred to the hole earlier in the day. He claimed that he had been texting Hendry, who is incarcerated in Indiana, and that Hendry said there was trouble with a new person who had been moved to his cell bay. That person apparently had singled out Henry for abuse, and DeCastro was counseling Hendry to ignore the person's insults and focus on remaining calm. DeCastro went into a memorable story of being targeted by guards when he was locked up in the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas last year. He indicated that on at least one occasion, guards planted an inmate who targeted him for abuse and attempted to get DeCastro to react in a way that would send him to the hole. The YouTuber said he avoided reacting to the man as a large gang member with the last name Castro told him to ignore the man as it was a setup. DeCastro, learning from the man's street and gang experience, was able to alleviate the situation without consequence and further need to have a cavity search on his way to the hole. Monday's live stream took an unfamiliar tone as DeCastro put aside nearly any advertisement for his products to focus on reacting, line by line, to President Donald J. Trump's inauguration speech, which had been televised earlier. DeCastro handled Trump's speech with a mix of rage, hatred and acceptance, primarily accepting anything to do with dialing back regulations while becoming enraged anytime Trump announced movement towards law enforcement. Reviving an old claim, DeCastro stated that they would kill him should he get to the point of becoming President of the United States. He failed to specify who they were, but did indicate that his views would change the world, and they can't have that. Both of DeCastro's broadcasts saw a continued influx of troll and trolling behavior. DeCastro's normal trolls were joined by members of the foreign state national community last week after he deemed their beliefs invalid in not one but two live streams. Monday, those groups were now joined by pro-Trump individuals who objected to DeCastro's criticism of the new president and extreme opposition to Trump's promised changes to law enforcement. The YouTuber said that he would really try to give President Dumpster Fire a chance before judging him, then spent the next 3 hours judging the new president, enraging the pro-Trump supporters in his audience. DeCastro was so unnerved by the negative backlash that he ended the stream abruptly, without announcing the winners of his daily trifold giveaway.
Well, that was fun. We have never been more disgusted by the human race than this point in our lives. Christopher J. Cordova, no. No. No, 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 no. And that's all we'll be saying about that. Please remember, on a serious note, that we're still looking for help for the feral cats living on Jim's property. With the extreme cold weather, we're in need of wet food, dry food, and paper products. Should you be inclined to help, you can find links to our Amazon registry in the description below. No money goes directly to us when using the registry, and all donations go to feeding both our indoor and roaming population of feral animals on the property. Thank you in advance. With that, we're out of here. Please take care, and we'll see you next time.